Welcome back to Bet Haven, the safe place for safe plays. Week after a major here, we got through the PGA Championship. A little more green than we had in the past 2 weeks, so that was a plus for us. Chandler had Victor Hovland down the stretch, so he was sweating that out, and then Victor just fell apart on 18.
Yeah, it was weird. He played so good, but then just couldn't quite do it. We did see glimpses of like old Victor though, like last year, like FedEx Cup Victor, where he was balling for a little bit, but he missed a couple opportunities on the front, a couple of the easier holes. So did Bryson.
But I think Bryson missed on like 7 or something like that.
That ended up biting both of them late.
I mean, well, to talk about Bryson, I mean, he was my top 20 play, and he literally showed out. I mean, Brooks was my favorite play, and he had a decent round. I don't remember which one it was, but maybe Saturday he played well. But he finished T26.
It was Sunday.
Was it Sunday?
Yeah.
And then our first round leaders looked like a couple of scrubs. I had Ludwig. You had John Rahm. Ludwig, could not do anything right.
I think he's actually hurt.
Yeah, and it was kind of apparent. And that's why I said in the show, I was like, if you're going to bet Ludwig, do not bet him full tournament. Our idiot friend DJ didn't listen to that advice. But I literally said, I'm like, look, if he's not hurt, he's a great, first round leader bet. If he is hurt, he's a great first round leader bet. Cause then you're just kind of safe. He obviously got through the first 2 rounds, but he just didn't look like what we had seen.
It turned out the best bet on Ludwig would have been to not bet him.
Yeah, 100%. But these guys say they're not hurt, but this is all for show. It's all for show.
Did we have any of the hurt guys do well? I'm trying to think of who.
Zalatoris did okay. He made the cut.
Yeah, Zal made the cut.
Who else was hurt?
I guess if we classify Spieth as hurt, he also made the cut, but it was kind of meh.
Top 30 maybe.
Who else was hurt? Was that it? I feel like we're missing somebody. Was it Matsuyama maybe?
Matsuyama has been questionable,
but he
had a bad last round. He shot
he probably finished somewhere in the middle as far as
I
made the cut.
I think he finished even on the final round or something stupid like that. But
so none of them ended up being great.
Yes,
the worst one probably was Ludwig.
Yeah, I mean the first hole, I was like, oh, he's good, because I think he went fairway green and missed a 10-foot putt that turned out to be one of the hardest putts on the entire course. Nobody made that putt above the hole there on that first green. But either way, Hadwin had a good first round and then absolutely just did nothing the rest of the tournament. Shot 3 under in round 1 and then was just kind of not there. So he didn't make the top 40. You had Corey Connors top 40, and he cashed that pretty easily. So
yeah, when we both said that we had Corey Connors top 40, when you were going to pick him, after I'd already picked him, we should have actually just laid it back on him.
Everything right there.
Everything should have been laid on him, because that was pretty much in the money the entire time. That was in the bag the entire time.
Yeah, no,
John Rahm for me though, to go back to my guy for round 1. John Rahm killed me this week. I ended up actually having a good week on DraftKings as far as the PGA goes. I had a good week. I had one lineup that ended up winning 300. That was, I didn't even think about Xander, Hovland, Dietrich, Keegan. I don't know. But I had one good lineup that was not a Rahm lineup. I had a lot of Rahm lineups that kind of honestly hurt me a lot. It could have been a great week. Pretty much everybody I mentioned on the show, I think, made the cut except for Rahm. Even the guys except for Abraham Answer. That guy didn't even show, dude.
Can you believe that?
The guy didn't even show, but Dustin showed up. He made the cut late. I mentioned Toasty. Toasty made the cut.
Mm-hmm.
Had a super cheap guy. Pretty much everybody except for Rahm, who was my most expensive and I think my most owned on DraftKings.
It was a weird tournament. It was not anything that we really anticipated. I think you got a leaderboard kind of similar to what we would have projected as far as who was at the top, but the way that it happened was very different. There's a ton of people complaining about the low scores and things like that, but
I didn't mind it.
Yeah,
I was intrigued late. I mean, obviously I had Hovland, so I was sweating that, but I think it was still
it was exciting
golf late with 18 being a birdie hole, and you didn't know, and then Xander ends up kind of on the edge of the bunker, and it's like, well, what's he going to do here? And he actually hit a really good shot.
Yeah.
The average golfer probably doesn't understand how good of a shot that was with your feet in the bunker like that.
Yeah.
With danger up in front of him.
Choked up way up on the club. Yeah, like
yeah,
that's a tough shot.
That's a tough shot, and he pulled it off in a high pressure situation. So
I do understand a little bit of the argument. I don't know what hole it is, but there's a creek that runs along the left-hand side, and you've got like a significant amount of rough in between the creek and the fairway. And Xander just like tugged the shit out of his drive, and it goes into that rough, and it basically is like, this is old course design where that creek is not, it's a hazard that's not even essentially in play because the fairway's so far to the right of it, and you've got all that thick rough in between to hold up any ball that goes left. So I did understand that a little bit. And then I don't remember, I think like Rick, what's that European golf, Rick Shields, he like basically was like did an entire layout of that hole and how the bunkers are like on the left hand side and your approach is from the right, so those aren't in play either. But overall, I think it was a good tournament.
It was. Just to give you the lineup real quick, it was Xander first, Hovland finished third, Dietrich T4, Keegan T18, Brian Harmon T26, and Willie Z T43.
Damn, you had 1-3 and T4.
So that was worth $300. So that made the week good. And then I did end up hedging with Xander and Bryson right around when there was like 5 holes to go, and it was pretty clear that one of those 3 guys was going to win the tournament.
Yeah.
So I had significant hedges on them because my Hovland ticket was 25 for over 1,000. I got him at 45 to 1. I think it was 25 for like 1,150. And I did my FanDuel, which I was telling you guys, my FanDuel, if they finish inside the top 20, you get your money back in a bonus bet. That was Hovland. That was that. So I got that $25 back in a bonus bet, which was cool.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of funny though. Even coming down the stretch, like it felt like Xander was gonna win, and he was still plus money for so long. Like if that was Scotty at any point of that tournament, like the books were just kind of disrespecting. They're like, Xander can't close, so we're gonna keep him at like, I think the lowest I saw it before they kind of finally pulled it was like plus 165 or something stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just funny how different scenarios play out for that kind of stuff. But yeah, he got it done. You know, a lot of people are gonna say that it wasn't.
Well, he got help from the Louisville PD.
We're not even gonna dissect that situation. It's been so talked about, and
it's kind of wild.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. But Scotty's in the field this week. He's basically said that he's not withdrawing, so we're gonna approach it like he's gonna be there because he says he is. So
did you see his number to win?
Yeah, plus 280.
That is insane.
No, I hate it. I think it's so stupid.
I'm not saying that he's not going to win because he very well could.
He's not going to win. I'm just.
He might win, dude. I don't know. But at plus 280, you kidding me?
Yeah, no, it's kind of absurd what's happening.
It's a full field event.
Well, that's part of the reason people don't like him is because he's, especially us gamblers, where it's like, what are we supposed to do with a plus 280?
I will say though, I think he is more likable now.
Yeah, no, you got some of that.
I think he's more likable now. I like him a little bit more now. Guy drug a cop across the road because he didn't want to listen to him. That's kind of badass, dude.
I'm not sure that's how it exactly went down.
That's what it sounds like.
I don't know, dude, but
I'm pretty sure that the media, I think, is downplaying it a little bit because it's Scotty Scheffler and he's like golden child. But I'm willing to bet that dude, whether he was confused or not, he's not an old man where like, oh, I got confused. I didn't know what you wanted me to do. Like, no, dude. He knew what he was doing. The guy was definitely telling him like, no, don't go. And then he drug him across. Can you imagine the scene? That guy's feet just dangling.
His poor $80 pants, man.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was so weird that they like included the exact
pants damaged beyond repair.
And he was like, it was in my high vis. I was like, this is so weird.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. Nobody's above the law, not even Scotty.
Yeah. Either way, the other person that people are starting to like a little bit more, and it's kind of coming off of like a weird time for him, is Bryson. I saw a lot of like positive posts.
Bryson was great. I feel like the crowd was really behind Bryson.
100%
late.
And we talked about it when we bet him at the Masters. Like he's kind of changed his demeanor a little bit. He's like a less in your face kind of guy about everything. He's still the same Bryson where everything is super analytical and like the numbers and whatnot. But that's like when you're doing it in the way he's doing it now, it's a little less like off-putting.
Yeah.
I think.
Did you see the smoke he got out of the car with before round 4?
No.
Oh my god.
Oh yes, I did see that.
Gazungas, dude.
Somebody said, "Sorry, Bryson,
I'm on
I wasn't."
cough medicine
Did
and
you say?
shit right now.
Did you say gazungas?
So, I'm not feeling good, so I'm on a bunch of medicine. So if I'm saying some stuff that's out of pocket, I apologize. But
yeah.
Gazunga's confidence, I'm sure, for that guy was high. And I mean, he showed it. He played good.
Yeah, no, he definitely played good, and yeah, I did see her.
But did you see the video of the ball where he
Yes,
flipped the ball?
that's where I was mostly going at.
Not Gazungas. You were going.
Yeah,
with
no, I was
kid.
going with the little kid. He threw a ball to him, and
That's
some idiot was like, he took it and ran. Like he literally ran away. And Bryson's pointing his putter at him like it's a freaking bow staff. It's like, hey,
dude,
get over here. But yeah, no, I think we're kind of getting back to some normalcy with the golf stuff. We'll see how it plays out. I don't know if you saw this, but Patrick Reed is not going to be in the U.S. Open. That's his first major that he's missed in I don't know how many years. But just kind of the live PGA situation that's taking place. I just saw that information drop today. All right, let's jump into the Charles Schwab Colonial Country Club, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Good tournament. A lot of history here. This tournament's been around forever. The course has been around forever. Renovations took place this past year. Basically, the Sunday of the tournament last year, they announced, they had announced it before, but they were like, as soon as the round's done today, they're basically going to start excavating like today.
Yeah.
All new grass, same grass type, but as far as the greens go, I'm not sure about the fairways, but the bent grass greens. And then everything is essentially brand new. The reports currently are that the course is firm and fast. And when you have new grass on golf courses, especially, they play extremely firm. Current weather predictions, though.
Old Liberty.
True. Oh, my God.
Packed clay.
Yeah. The current weather is stating that they're going to get like flood-causing torrential downpours on Wednesday. So I think, there's a chance that it softens up. But I think we need to approach this like it's going to be a very firm and fast course, and that is currently the expectation. So let's jump right into the picks for this week. Same format as always. First round leader, favorite play, top 20, top 40. Chandler's going to kick us off like he always does with the first round leader play. Who you got?
All right, so we're almost due at this point, to an extent. It's been a little bit, and I'm going with my typical kind of strategy. Hot putter, maybe a little bit of round 4 spike that I noticed. And this guy is Maverick McNeely. Maverick McNeely, last week at the PGA Championship, he was a 0 putter, meaning he didn't gain anything strokes gained putting, which is odd for him. He normally, that's his game.
He's a really good putter.
He's a really good putter. So normally that's what he does. Well, this week he was exactly neutral, did nothing. But in round 4, he gained 2.25 strokes gained tee to green. That was 15th for that day in the entire field. That's not his game. He gained a little bit on approach as well. That's not his game. If we can get a little bit of approach with a hot putter, round 1, I like it. I don't know his number. Didn't write it down.
I feel like he was good. Wasn't he good off the tee too as well?
He was good off the tee. He was good off the tee on approach a little bit, and then a neutral putter, which is not usually his game.
Round 1 leader, 55-1.
55-1. Maverick McNeely. He's my guy.
Okay, so what's interesting about the pick you just made is his initials are MM. The guy that I'm picking his initials are MM.
Marshall Mathers?
Yes. Slim Shady. No. Mac Meisner.
Okay. We're off the rails already.
Mac Meisner, 100-1.
There's a reason for that.
You ready for this?
Yeah, go ahead. Mac
Meisner is an SMU graduate, Southern Methodist University. Any idea where Southern Methodist University is? It's in Dallas,
Texas.
Okay. The next important piece of information, and you might like this a little bit more. Just bear with me because I can tell you're frustrated.
I didn't even know this guy was in the field.
Okay, so Mac Meisner this is his first year on the PGA. He's a Korn Ferry guy.
Sounds about right.
He played in a U.S. Open qualifier on yesterday, in Dallas Athletic Club, bent grass greens, Dallas guy. Like I said, he finished.
This is a deep dive.
He finishes T2 at the U.S. Open qualifier. 6 under across 2 rounds, local course again. And I feel like that's going to be a confidence boost, number one.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, you're kind of seeing the same thing that you're talking about. You're talking about a round 4 spike. This is like, okay, he's in Dallas. He's qualifying for the U.S. Open, a major, probably going to be his first major. I don't know if he's ever played in a major or not, but that's got to be some kind of boost. And the fact that he finishes, tied for second lowest round out of the other guys. Another guy's in the field, Nico Echevarria, shot 7 under. So maybe it's also something to consider.
I guess this is the time of year where this always comes up. I remember listening to like certain podcasts and stuff where guys are like, oh yeah, he didn't play last week, but he played in the US Open qualifier and he shot yada yada. This happens every single year.
I feel like,
but I don't hate it. It's not a bad.
I think he played
in Myrtle. Trend thing.
I think he played in Myrtle Beach. Let me pull him up here because, again, I'm going with the local factor, and then there's a lot of things to consider when somebody's in a qualifier. It's like, one, how did they perform, and two, what are they qualifying for? Like the fact that he's able to get into the U.S. Open now and play in Pinehurst, he's probably like super stoked about that. Yep. Mac Meester, let's see. He's got good finishes this year. I know for a fact he does, and I want to say that they're in Texas. Pulling up the results here. All right, so he played in Myrtle Beach, so not that long ago. Finishes T13. Okay. That's the first time we've ever had that event there, so there's not a ton of like information I can look at. Mm-hmm. T10 at Valero, where Akshay won. That's in Texas. And T26 at Valspar. Not in Texas, but that's Florida, right? Valspar plays tough. I mean, it's I think it ranks 3rd.
You're the comp course guys, Valspar comp.
Yeah. Well, there's correlation to success. It's not necessarily the same exact type of course layout, but it does play tough, and it's one of those courses that these guys aren't. What was the winning score at Valspar this year? Do you know?
I do not.
12 under. So similar style that we're going to see probably a single digit win if I had to guess. And if it's not single digits, it's just going to barely creep into double digits. That's typically how it's gone here at Colonial. It is a tough track. It plays as one of the like lower half of tough courses every year. And I think Valspar ranked like 3rd so far this season of course toughness, and he had a T26 there. So this is a crazy long shot. It's obviously like, do I expect it to hit without any question? No, but I think there's a lot of information that went into this play, that is going into this play, that it makes sense, and it's not just like I'm pulling, straws out of a hat.
For sure. Okay.
I don't care. I can't wait till it hits at 101. I'm putting $5,000 on it.
My favorite thing about this show is how long-winded and detail-oriented you get on your first-round leader guys.
Just for them to miss completely.
To shoot like 80.
Hey, not every single time.
I mean, as long as you're into it, you got the stats. I love it. All right. You want me to move along to the
let's
favorite
go
play?
To favorite play.
Okay, so my favorite play this week is going to be a guy that I pick often, and he's paid off often. It's Akshay
JT
Bhatia.
Poston. Oh, okay.
Akshay Bhatia missed the cut last week, but in his 2 rounds, he lost over 2 strokes putting per round. That's not good. That's going to hurt your score. But in those 2 rounds, he gained over 2 shots on approach. That was 2nd in the field as far as an average goes. The only guy that had a better average than him was Tony Finau. So 2nd in strokes gained approach average, missed the cut, bad putting week. We're going to get a tough course, potential windy course. He is cheap on DraftKings. He definitely burned some people last week who had him. I think his ownership on DraftKings is going to be average. He's 7-9. He should be
12%.
12 to 15 would be my guess. That's pretty meh,
Yeah.
So I think he's a great guy if you want to pair him with Scotty or whoever at the top. I think he's a great play, and I don't know that I'll bet him.
He's 50-1 to win.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Maybe a boost or something like that. But DraftKings for sure.
Yeah, what did you say what his price was on DraftKings?
I think it's 7-9.
I mean, there's no reason he should be in the 7 still. I know that's the upper 7s, and I know it's a full field, but like, I think we're past the point of Akshay being like one of the lower tier golfers at this point.
Yeah, I think it's a good buy spot. I think it's a good buy back in, get back in early before he pops again.
All right, yeah, I like that. This is kind of the opposite of where you're going. I'm going with Colin Morikawa, favorite play. Finished T4 at PGA, so you're not really buying low. You're kind of buying high here. I don't know what his price is on DraftKings. To win, he's 12-1. He's a second favorite to Scotty. You saw him struggle putting at the PGA Championship, which the 3 starts he had before, he was pretty positive with the putter. So I'm just going to assume that's sort of an outlier. You know, we saw him struggle throughout the season, and he really didn't come into full form until the Masters. Even when he came into the Masters, like nobody was betting him because he had zero form. And since the Masters, he's gone T3, 9th, T23, T16, T4. Gaining around the green, gaining on approach, and off the tee essentially every single week. He's a very accurate driver of the golf ball. You don't need a ton of distance here, but accuracy is required. You know, I think that Colin is just he's back into his not quite full form. He's still having some, every now and then he looks a little off with the approach shots, but I think we're going to get a good chance here for him to contend again, especially in a weaker field.
Yeah, he's second on the board on DraftKings. As far as pricing goes, he's 11,000. Scotty 13,300, and then below him is Spieth at 10,600.
Somebody at the top here is going to miss the cut. I don't know who it is. I mean, there's always a chance that it's the person I'm picking. So there's a chance Colin could miss the cut, but I think it's going to be Tony Finau. I got a weird feeling about Tony Finau missing the cut this week. And I hope he does because I want to bet him at the U.S. Open.
Tony Finau to win?
Listen, if Tony Finau misses the cut, he's currently 40-1 to win the U.S. Open. Hammer whatever his odds jump to win the U.S. Open. Do it. You just jump on it right then and there. Because if he's 40-1 now and he misses the cut this week, you can get probably 55-1 to win the U.S. Open.
Or when he wins this week, now that you've talked bad about him,
it's not going to happen.
He'll be down to 25.
It's not going to happen.
All right. I'm going with, all right.
How do you feel about Morikawa?
I think Morikawa is trending. DraftKings wise, I don't know.
I don't know if he's a draft.
I think he's going to be popular on DraftKings. I think a lot of people will, if you don't want to pick Scotty, you're going to pick Morikawa. That's how I kind of envision people going on DraftKings. If you don't click Scotty, you're clicking Morikawa, you're starting there.
Who else was at the top? Did you say?
I guess we'll see. Spieth. People ain't picking Spieth. I mean,
what about Homa? How much is Homa?
10-4.
He's third on the board for betting, though. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. And people probably go to Finau. Finau's 9-9.
25-1 to win.
Yeah.
He started at like 33, which means people are betting him down.
Like, I could definitely see people going Morikawa, Finau. That leaves just 7,275.
Well, there's one contender and a miscut to start.
I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if that's a popular way to start a build.
Yeah.
But yes, Morikawa is trending. I don't have enough stats on him right now in front of me to tell you why I love him or hate him. But results-wise, it's hard to argue. He looked like he absolutely couldn't make anything on Sunday.
And I just don't think he's going to do that again. But
yeah, and that's something that I look for all the time, as you've seen in my stats, is who putted well, especially late. And Morikawa did not. Obviously, Sunday he was right there. He hit a ton of greens and just couldn't make anything. Yeah. So yeah, if he makes a couple putts, I could see it happening.
All right, top 20 play. What do you got?
All right, top 20. I'm going with Brian Harman. Brian Harman was 8th in the field last week in the PGA Championship in strokes gained on approach per round. He was averaging 1.5 per round. And
is he typically an approach guy? I don't think he is.
He's a little bit of everything. He's just kind of solid. And he was solid again at the PGA Championship. I think, like I said, he was on my winning team. I think he finished just outside the top 20. This is a good course for him. This course is going to require good irons, good putting, and as you can see with kind of my first couple picks here, I'm going with either good iron players or good putters. And Brian Harman is kind of a little bit of both to me. And so top 20, I think that's a pretty safe play. I think he's not a great number, maybe plus 150 or 175, depending on where you get it.
Brian Harman is plus 150 on DraftKings.
Yeah. So maybe shop that around. You might be able to find a 175. But either way, Brian Harman, top 20.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it's weird because the finishes in the game and everything kind of says, yeah, why not? And I picked him top 20, I think, at RBC when we did this.
Mm-hmm.
But just watching, man, just sometimes when you watch him play, it's just like the demeanor is so obnoxious. And I don't know how to describe it. Like I'm sure you were watching the broadcast when they panned to that turtle.
Mm-hmm.
He was like waiting. I don't know what he was waiting on, but he just kept looking over and like shaking his head like something was. It's like, dude, just either wait on what your shot is and feel good about it, or don't. Like step over that motherfucker and hit it. But
he did play better late, like Saturday, Sunday. He was paired with Scotty.
Yeah.
I think. So Thursday, Friday, they showed a lot of him.
Yeah.
And Thursday specifically, he did not play very good, if I'm remembering that correctly. Maybe somewhere around even or something like that. And then I think he made the cut on the number possibly.
Probably, yeah.
And then played a little bit better on the weekend, especially on Sunday. I think he shot like 4 or 5 under.
Yeah, I did notice that he finished better than what I remember, like thinking he was going to based on.
So maybe
coverage.
He found a little bit of something, and But Thursday he was a little frustrated. So maybe you saw him on Thursday when he was playing with Scotty.
I'm sure I did, but yeah, I was just like, dude, it sums up with this guy. But obviously the result ended up just fine. Top 20 for me is a guy, I don't play him very often, but the course sets up well, and he's been pretty consistent. It's going to be Christian Bezuidenhout. He missed the cut at PGA. I'm not going to hold that over his head too much. Not necessarily. I don't think he's like performed well in majors. Best finish looks like a T30 in the 2021 PGA Championship. A lot of missed cuts, a lot of T40s, whatever. Prior to that, he had 6 starts inside the top 20, 4 of those being inside top 30, 4 of those being in the top 20. He's a good iron player. It's like you said, you're going to need the approach numbers, and he can get the putter rolling. I don't think this course does not set up well for someone's breakthrough victory. He's never won on the PGA Tour. I feel like it's coming. Like Bezuidenhout's a really good golfer. He's going to win eventually. I just don't think it's going to be this week, but that's why we're going with a top 20 instead of a victory here. But been honestly red hot with the putter, aside from last week.
Yeah, he can get hot with the putter.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of remember him in my head.
Yeah, been good around the greens. I feel like if they are going to play firm, like I say every time these courses are firm, like you need guys that are good around the green. Approach numbers vary, but typically he's in the green there as well. And then off the tee, he lacks distance, but he's typically pretty accurate. So,
yeah, for me the key stats are like I said, putting, like hot putting ability and hot irons. Like that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a spike iron week or a spike putting week, or preferably both.
Yeah,
and that's why Mav with the putting, Akshay with the irons, Harmon maybe a little bit of both. We'll see. And then Bez, I think, is definitely a putter.
Well, like true
Morikawa can be both. Who was your first round? Oh, yeah. Whoever the guy who's playing 13. His first golf round.
So 13 measured rounds, true strokes gained. He's gained with the putter in 10 of them. So 10 of 13, he's true strokes gained. He's gained with the putter. So, yeah, hot putter. Well, I can't wait for Mac to hit, man. That's going to feel so.
Is it Mac? It's Mac?
I think his real name is McClure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Mac. They call him Big Mac. Return of the Mac. MM. The right MM for the first round leader this week.
I don't think so. All right. So my top 40 this week is going to be Gary on the kick drum. Come on the kick drum, Gary. Gary Woodland, top 40.
You don't even know what movie that's from.
The people aren't going to. That's not going to land at all. Last week, he was 15th in strokes gained on approach, averaging over 1 stroke per round. He's been kind of trending a little bit back to his old self recently. His form is slightly improving, and I've noticed it. He was on a couple of my DraftKings last week, even though I was very scared to pick him. But the stats said, hey, dude, he's starting to figure it out. An easy guy to root for. Top 40, plus 180. Give me Gary on the kick drum.
I don't even see him on Data Golf. Oh, there he is.
Come
way
on,
at the bottom. Oof. Yeah, I mean, you got positive putting last week. Really good on approach last week. Around the greens was iffy. Is he long off the tee?
I'm looking for approach, man. Yeah, he's fairly long.
I didn't realize that. I thought he was more of like an accurate guy, but
No, he's fairly long.
well, we know anything about Gary is that he's a good win player. He knows how to like control the ball flight a little bit. So yeah, he's got that going for him. But yeah, that's more of a flyer than
cheap DraftKings as well. I think he's I want to say 6,600
plus 180.
Plus 180 top 40.
Let's see what my guy is before I say his name.
Is he gonna be another guy I've never heard of?
Oh my God, he's plus 180. Are you ready for this?
What you got?
So my top 20 pick was Bez. My top 40 pick is Ches. That was not on purpose either. I'm just now discovering that. Ches Reavie, plus 180, top 40 on DraftKings. Ches Reavie coming off of a T32 at the Myrtle Beach Classic, where he gained with the putter, he gained around the greens, gained on approach, and was extremely accurate off the tee. He's got mixed results at this course. Let's see. Charles Schwab.
Ches has been kind of quiet this year.
Ches has been quiet, but he falls into like a bucket of older guys at this point. I think he's over 40, and the old guys at this course typically have like success. Now, it's not always a win, but we've seen plenty of old heads contend here. Top 40 last year and T27 the year before. So, and then a handful of miscuts. And then if you go back like over a decade, it's like T11, T5. So we're not going to look at, that far back. But like I said, T32 at Myrtle Beach, where he gained on the stats that I'm kind of looking for, putting around the green and approach. And he's an extremely accurate driver of the golf ball. So that's what I'm going for. I will tell you this. No, I'm not going to tell you that, actually. Never mind. I'm going to save that for myself.
Okay.
Ches Reavie. Just know Ches Reavie. Just remember that name.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try and remember that name. That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got. I haven't done extensive research. I don't have more names to throw out. I guess take a stand on Scotty. Either play him or don't play him. You like take a full stand depending on how many teams you're going to make.
I'm not playing him.
I'm going to end up playing him.
On DraftKings, I'm guessing?
Yes. I'm not going to bet him to win. I tell you what's an interesting kind of bet this week potentially would be a
miscut.
No, a Scotty win and then pick your top 10 behind him. Like Scotty win, Akshay top 10. Like parlay. Something like that. If you're a Scotty believer. Don't do that if you're not a Scotty believer. But if you're a Scotty believer and you want to get paid on something like that, bet him to win and then bet your Mac whatever the hell top 10 behind it. And that's
He's first round leader, man. I don't need him top 10.
There you go. That'll probably pay pretty good.
Yeah.
Your boy first round
I don't know if you can parlay
with Scotty to win.
You might be able to.
You might be. I would think so.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm going to, on Sunday, I can pretty much guarantee I'm going to be like, oh, I just picked Scotty. Like, he's freaking 6 shots in front of everybody. But I don't know.
He came back. He almost came back and was on. It's hard to say. He almost came back and was on the like necessary DraftKings winning lineup. Like he was so many birdies late. He almost came all the way back to where it was like you needed him on your lineups. Now you didn't quite need him if you had Xander, Bryson, Hovland. You didn't need him. You didn't need to spend that money up top, but you almost did after everything that happened. After all the bull crap, him dragging
somebody tell that man to go home.
Him dragging that poor police officer across the road. He still almost needed him.
I saw a video of it was like live look at Scotty playing the tournament in handcuffs, and it was like the guy's hands were behind his back and he was swinging through his legs. I'm like, I guarantee Scotty could like contend at this point. This motherfucker, nothing can stop him, and it's ridiculous. Yeah, not even a full-fledged arrest where he got warm milk and a ham sandwich.
Yeah, I don't know.
And a frisk. Yeah. They checked his anal cavities.
The fact that they put that dude in the jumpsuit and then we're like, okay, just kidding.
Dude.
Like, they went through the full process.
They were like, something is wrong.
You're in the jumpsuit. I'm telling you, dude, it's going to come out. It's worse than we think. Like, he told this guy to go fuck off. And he drove across the street with the guy on his hood.
Can you actually visualize? Like, picture him being like, man, fuck this guy.
Well, listen, as you know, I was a caddy on the web.com tour. I don't want to brag about it.
I've never heard you say that
but
before.
They get these courtesy cars. They get these courtesy cars that are clearly marked. And when you're in one of these courtesy cars, getting in and out of the course, they will stop everybody for you. They will literally stop the world. Just be like, okay, you're coming out. Come on out, come on in, whatever you want to do. The fact that that didn't happen, I obviously understand that there was circumstances and things happened and it was raining and dark and all that. But I think Scotty was probably so used to just being like, yep, come on, that he was like, okay, here I come. Also, Scotty doesn't have a driver. I bet he does now. How much does it pay? Hit me up, Scotty.
Somebody said Scotty being arrested for driving, that's ridiculous. He hits every single fairway. It's like that. Somebody came with that, like, what St. Andreas Golf or whatever. They came out with that parody video. It was like a song or whatever, but it's like,
well, it was bad too, because I was listening to other golfers talk about it, and there was a couple that like literally got out of their car and like walked into the golf course. The traffic was so bad.
Yeah, Will Zalatoris
they were not moving.
They said Will Zalatoris walked over a mile to the course.
That's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy. Golfers were leaving their cars and walking, being like, all right, I'm done with this. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out, but hopefully it's in his head enough to where he doesn't win, because I don't want to see him win this tournament. It's not that I'm like rooting against the guy, because like I'm just rooting for other people.
He's going to be crazy owned on DraftKings.
You think so?
Yeah. I'm telling you, he's more popular now than he was. He's more popular now than he was. Guaranteed. He's going to be like,
but it's like
he's going to be like
in a meme 40s. Way.
He's going to be like in the 40s on DraftKings.
No, 40%,
dude. I'm telling you.
He's too expensive. If he was 10K, if he was a 10K, if this was Max Homa, then yeah, maybe.
I'm telling you, man. If you start Scotty, you're left with 7,340 for your remaining.
So you throw Mac Meisner in there. And Chaz Reavie.
So basically, that means that range of golfer is going to be extremely popular as well. Like that 7,000 to 7,008. Like Lucas Glover's going to be popular.
Yeah, true.
Højgaard.
People like playing Glover. Højgaard doesn't really make sense for this course, which means he's going to win. But
he's just in that price range where I feel like people are like,
he's a bomb.
People saw his name, even though he did nothing really. People saw his name and were like, oh yeah, he's playing good at the PGA Championship. No, the dude made the cut and like was almost dead last.
He hits it long, and you don't really need that at this course. So I don't know why you would play him, but now that I've said that, he's going to win. So
people are going to pick Glover too. It just falls in that range.
Yeah, but. All right, well, if you're still watching on YouTube, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you're on Spotify, make sure you rate the podcast and follow the channel on Spotify as well. If you're new to sports betting, make sure you hit the link in the bio. You can take advantage of all the deposit matches and bonus bets across various sports books. I always forget to say that at the beginning of the show, but if you're still listening, that means you're a true Bet Haven supporter. So we appreciate you, number one. And number two, make sure you pick Mac Meisner first round leader this week.
Yeah, and we'll start doing our NASCAR show soon.
Chandler just had a
recent
first place finish in the All-Star race on a DraftKings lineup, which is just such a Chandler thing to happen.
Yeah, first place.
Lost me money in hockey last night, but freaking All-Star.
What a terrible beat, dude. I
went to sleep. I was like, oh my God, they're up 3-0. We're good.
Edmonton, Vancouver had Hyman, Nugent, Hopkins to get a point. Edmonton -1.5. They were up 3-0, and Vancouver scores 2 in the last 5 minutes.
Did they empty the net?
Yes, and they didn't even score. They didn't score an empty netter.
That's what I was kind of hoping. I was like, all right, well, even if they get 2 goals in the third, like they're gonna empty the net, and then it's gonna be 4-2.
Yeah, insane. And then the All-Star thing, I was obviously made some lineups. Me and Billy make lineups and we watch it. It's kind of one of the things we do together. And so we were watching, and with like 50 laps to go, I pulled it up to see where I was at, and I was like, oh crap. And I was like, showed her, and I was in first, winning $3,000. And I was like, okay, we need nothing to happen. No more wrecks, no more people passing each other, nothing. And sure enough,
50 laps?
I think it was like somewhere between 30 and 50. And it was a short track though. They were in North Wilkesboro.
So how long does that take?
It was 15 minutes.
I would have been sweating fucking
Oh, I was.
bullets for 15 minutes.
Oh, I was. Especially because it was an all-star race because, like, the points didn't mean anything. So there was wrecks earlier in the race where guys were, like, literally just wrecking each other to wreck each other.
Right.
And I was like, dude, if somebody wrecks, somebody spins out, like, this is going to change everything. Because in NASCAR, it can change quickly.
Yeah.
And, luckily nothing happened and refreshed and eventually got paid out, so.
Well, I guess you can start the NASCAR segment soon, but I got nothing for you there.
That and NHL. We're staying away from NBA.
NBA is where it's at, baby.
No.
Shout out to the Pacers. Go TJ McConnell. He's about to ball out tonight. He might have a double-double. You heard it here first, folks. All right, yeah, no. We'll see you guys next week. We appreciate you tuning in like always. What's the tournament next week? Are we going to be here next week? We'll be in a different location, number one.
Oh,
the RBC Canadian.
Oh, Canada.
We'll see. All right. Good luck, everybody, and we'll see you next time.